My fiancée said, "Your promotion doesn't impress me. My ex-made partner at 30. I replied, "Noted." Then I canceled the luxury apartment lease I'd signed for us and moved into a studio. When she showed up with moving boxes, the landlord handed her the cancellation notice. I, 33 male, have been with my fiancé for 3 years. Engaged for 8 months. We were supposed to move in together next month into what I thought was going to be our dream apartment. Instead, I'm typing this from a 480 square foot studio that smells faintly like the previous tenant's cat. And honestly, I've never felt more at peace. Let me back up. I work in corporate finance. Not glamorous, not exciting, but I'm good at it. Started as an analyst right out of college. Worked my way up over 11 years. Last Tuesday, I finally got the call I've been waiting for. Senior director. Corner office. $185,000 base, plus bonus structure. After a decade of 70-hour weeks and watching other people get promoted ahead of me, it was finally my turn. I left work early that day. Stopped and bought a nice bottle of champagne. The real French stuff, not the sparkling wine I usually grab. Picked up flowers. The whole thing. I wanted to celebrate with my fiancé properly. This promotion meant we could actually afford the apartment we'd been looking at. The one with the skyline view and the in-unit washer/dryer she'd been obsessing over for months. Quick context on that apartment. I'd already signed the lease 2 weeks prior. Put down first month, last month, and security deposit, $11 for $100 total for my savings. The lease had a 14-day cancellation clause, which I'd noted at the time, but never thought I'd need. The place was $3,800 a month, which was a stretch on my old salary, but doable with the promotion. I'd been planning to surprise her with the keys at dinner. I got home around 5 p.m. She was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. I walked in with champagne and flowers, probably grinning like an idiot. Guess who just got promoted to senior director? She looked up, smiled, but something about it fell off, like she was waiting for the rest of the sentence. That's great, babe. Senior director of what again? Corporate finance. Same department, just finally at the top. It's a big deal. Corner office. Significant raise. How much? 185 base. Plus bonus. She nodded slowly. Set her phone down. That's nice. Nice. 11 years of my life, and it was nice. I thought we could celebrate, I said, holding up the champagne. I was thinking we could go to that Italian place you like. The one with the truffle pasta. Sure, yeah. That sounds fine. She picked her phone back up, then paused. You know, my ex-made partner at his firm when he was 30. Full equity partner. He was pulling in close to $400,000 by the time we broke up. I just stood there. Champagne in one hand. Flowers in the other. Processing. I'm not saying that to be mean, she continued, like she was explaining something obvious to a child. I'm just saying, your promotion is fine. It's a step, but it's not exactly impressive, you know? You're 33. You should probably be further along by now. I set the champagne on the counter. Put the flowers next to it. Noted, I said. Don't be like that. I'm just being honest. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Be honest with each other. You're right, I said. Honesty is important. I went to the bedroom, sat on the edge of the bed, stared at the wall for probably 20 minutes. I could hear her in the living room, TV on, acting like nothing had happened. Here's the thing about that moment. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was just empty. I'd spent 3 years with this woman, 8 months engaged, and in one conversation, she'd made it clear that everything I'd accomplished wasn't enough. That I wasn't enough. That I was being measured against some guy she dated before me and found lacking. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the conversation. Your promotion doesn't impress me. You should probably be further along by now. Like I was a stock that wasn't performing to expectations. The next morning, she left for work like nothing was wrong. Kissed me on the cheek, said she'd see me later, mentioned something about needing to look at furniture for the new place. The new place. The $3,800 a month apartment I'd signed for. That she hadn't put a single dollar toward. I called in sick to work. Spent an hour staring at the lease agreement. Then I called the property management company. Hi, I need to inquire about the cancellation clause in my lease. The one I signed 12 days ago. The woman on the phone confirmed I was still within the 14-day window. Full refund of all deposits within 5 to 7 business days. Did I want to proceed? Yes, I said. Please cancel the lease. By noon, I'd found a studio apartment about 15 minutes from my office. Month-to-month lease. $1,200, including utilities. The building was older, the appliances were from the Clinton administration, and the bathroom had those tiny hexagonal tiles that are impossible to keep clean. But it was mine. Just mine. I signed the paperwork that afternoon. Paid first month and deposit. $2,400. The contrast with the $11,400 I'd almost committed to felt almost poetic. That evening, I went back to our current apartment, the one we'd been sharing for the past year, and started packing. Just my stuff. Clothes, books, electronics, the kitchen items that were actually mine. Anything I'd bought with my money. She came home while I was loading boxes into my truck. What are you doing? Moving out. Moving out? What are you talking about? We're moving into the new place in 3 weeks. No, I'm moving into a studio. On my own. Is this about yesterday? About what I said? She actually laughed. You're overreacting. I was just being honest with you. And I'm being honest with you now. I'm not impressed with how you treat me. My ex-girlfriend from college thought I was remarkable. She said I was going to do amazing things. She was pulling in close to nothing working in nonprofit, but she made me feel like a king. I picked up another box. I'm just being honest. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? She didn't find that as funny as she found her own comments. I finished loading the truck and drove to my new studio. Slept on an air mattress that night. Best sleep I'd had in months. The lease cancellation for the luxury apartment was processed the next day. My deposits are being refunded. And my fiancée, soon-to-be ex-fiancée, has no idea. She thinks we're still moving in together in 3 weeks. She's been texting me about paint colors and furniture layouts. I've been responding with minimal answers. Sound good? We'll see. Let's talk later. I know I should just tell her it's over. I know this is dragging things out. But honestly, part of me wants her to show up at that apartment building with her moving boxes and find out the hard way that actions have consequences. Is that petty? Probably. Do I care? Not even a little bit. We'll update when the move-in date arrives. Should be interesting. Update 1, day 22. So, the move-in day came, and it was everything I expected and somehow more. First, let me catch you up on the 3 weeks between my last post and today. Week 1. I continued living in my studio while she thought I was staying with a friend to clear my head. She bought it because she genuinely believed her comments about my promotion. Weren't that serious? She texted me multiple times about the new apartment, which throw pillows I preferred, whether we should get a sectional or a regular sofa, if I wanted the home office set up in the second bedroom or the alcove. I gave vague responses. Whatever you think is best. You have good taste. We can figure out later. She didn't notice anything was off. Why would she? In her mind, she'd just been honest with her partner, and honest partners don't leave over one conversation. Week 2, she started getting impatient with my distance. Showed up at my studio unannounced and was clearly horrified by it. The look on her face when she saw the 480 square feet with the old appliances and the tiny bathroom was genuinely priceless. She stood in the doorway like she was afraid to step inside. This is where you've been staying? It's small. It's affordable. We're about to move into a $3,800 apartment. Why are you living like a college student who just got dumped? Just needed some space to think. About what? There's nothing to think about. We're engaged. We have a plan. We have a lease. She walked around the studio, examining everything with barely concealed disgust. There's not even a dishwasher. The stove has 4 burners, but one of them clearly doesn't work. Is that mold in the corner? It's character. It's depressing. This place is what people live in when they've given up on themselves. She turned to face me. Is this about what I said? About your promotion? Because I've been thinking about that, and I think you misunderstood me. What did I misunderstand? I wasn't saying you're not successful. I was just saying you could be more successful. There's a difference. I was trying to motivate you. That's what good partners do. They push each other to be better. By comparing me to your ex-boyfriend, I was using him as an example of what's possible. You're so sensitive sometimes, you know that. I didn't respond. She eventually left, frustrated but confident I'd come around once I stopped being dramatic. Week 3. She ramped up the pressure significantly. Her mother called me twice to ask if everything was okay with you too, in that tone mothers use when they're really asking, what did you do wrong? I kept things vague, so we were working through some things. The mother offered to mediate because apparently that's a thing families do now when their adult children have relationship problems. Then came the group text. She added me to a group chat with her sister, her mother, and her best friend. The topic? Wedding planning updates. She started sharing venue options, dress styles, catering menus. All in a chat I never asked to be in, all assuming we were still on track. Well, I didn't respond to any of it. Her sister texted me privately, "You better not be getting cold feet." She's already put down deposits. Deposits. From her own money, apparently, for a wedding we hadn't officially planned. Without asking me. For venues and vendors I'd never approved. The night before move-in day, my ex-fiancée sent me a long text about how excited she was for our new chapter and how she'd already arranged for movers and taken a day off work. She bought new bedding from some fancy home store, Pottery Barn or something similar. Spent $600 on sheets, $400 on a duvet cover, for an apartment that no longer existed in her name. She ended the text with, "I know we've had a rough few weeks, but tomorrow is the start of something beautiful. I love you. Can't wait to build our life together in our new home." I didn't respond. Move-in day. Today, I got a call around 10 a.m. It was her. She was hysterical. "What did you do? What did you do? What do you mean? I'm at the apartment with the movers. And the property manager just told me the lease was canceled 3 weeks ago. He handed me some piece of paper and told me there's no unit reserved in your name." "That's correct." "What?" "I canceled the lease 12 days after signing it, within the cancellation window. Got my deposits back and everything." Silence. For probably 10 seconds. Then, "Why would you do that?" "Because I'm not moving into a luxury apartment with someone who thinks my career accomplishments are unimpressive, who compares me to her ex-boyfriend unprompted, who measures my worth in salary figures I haven't achieved yet, who looked at the best news I'd had in a decade and found it lacking." That was one conversation. I was having a bad day. My boss had just criticized my quarterly report, and I was feeling insecure. "So you took your insecurity out on me by making me feel small about my own success. That's somehow supposed to make it better?" "I was just being honest. Would you rather I lie to you? Pretend I think your career is impressive when—" She stopped herself. "But not fast enough." "When what?" "Nothing. I didn't mean—" "No. Finish that sentence." "When what?" "When you don't actually think my career is impressive. When you think I'm settling. When you're still measuring me against your ex who made partner at 30. You're twisting my words. I'm listening to your words. For maybe the first time. Goodbye." I hung up, blocked her number, then blocked her on everything. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn for some reason she was on there too, Snapchat, even Venmo. All of it. Complete digital separation. 20 minutes later, her mother called from her own phone. I answered because I knew this was coming and wanted to get it over with. "You need to fix this right now. Whatever game you're playing, it ends today. There's nothing to fix. And it's not a game. My daughter is standing in a parking lot with a moving truck full of furniture and nowhere to go. The movers are charging her by the hour. She's already spent $2,000 on deposits and bedding for that apartment. Do you have any idea how humiliating this is for her? For our family. I imagine it's about as humiliating as being told your decade of professional accomplishments aren't impressive because your fiancé's ex made more money at a younger age." She didn't mean it like that. She meant it exactly like that. She doubled down on it when I confronted her just now. Said, "Would you rather I pretend your career is impressive when—" and then stopped herself. She knows exactly what she thinks of me. And now she's facing the consequences of saying it out loud. That's how cause and effect works. You're being petty and vindictive. Over what? Some words? Words don't justify leaving a woman stranded. I didn't leave her stranded. She has family. She has friends. She has a job. She has every resource she needs to find housing. What she doesn't have is a fiancé who's willing to foot the bill for a lifestyle while being told he's not good enough. You're throwing away 3 years over one comment. No. I'm throwing away a lease over one comment. The relationship was already dead the moment she decided I wasn't enough. I'm just finally burying it. The mother called me vindictive, petty, emotionally immature, and no real man. Said I'd regret this when no woman wants someone so fragile, and that her daughter dodged a bullet. I let her finish her full speech, then said, "Have a nice day," and hung up. Her father texted me an hour later. Just one line. "Real men don't do this to women they claim to love." I didn't respond to that one, but I did screenshot it. Might frame it someday. Currently sitting in my studio, eating takeout from the Thai place down the street, watching basketball on my laptop. The air mattress has been upgraded to an actual bed. Nothing fancy, just a queen mattress and a simple frame from IKEA. It's comfortable. My phone has been quiet since I blocked everyone. It's strange how peaceful that silence is. More updates if anything happens, though I'm hoping nothing does. Update 2, day 31. Final update, because this situation has somehow gotten even more absurd before finally dying down. Day 24. Her best friend contacted me through a burner Instagram account. I have to admire the creativity, honestly. The message started with, "I'm just trying to understand your side," and quickly devolved into a lecture about how I'd publicly humiliated my ex and destroyed her mental health. I responded with 3 words: "She's not my fiancée anymore. Not my responsibility. Please don't contact me again." Got blocked immediately. Good. Day 26. My ex apparently moved back in with her parents. Temporarily, according to the mutual friend who told me. She'd been planning to move all her stuff from our old shared apartment directly into the new place. So now she's living out of boxes in her childhood bedroom at 31. The mutual friend also mentioned she'd had to pay the movers $800 for the wasted trip, plus she's stuck with all the furniture and bedding she bought for an apartment she'll never live in. I'd feel bad about that if I hadn't spent 3 years paying 70% of our shared expenses while she spent her salary on self-care, purchases, and treating herself because she worked hard and deserved it. Apparently working hard and deserving things only applied to her. Day 27. I got a letter. An actual physical letter, mailed to my studio apartment. From her. 5 pages, handwritten on fancy stationery with her initials embossed at the top. I'll summarize the key points. Page 1. How dare I do this to her? She gave me 3 years of her life. She was planning their future. I betrayed her trust. Page 2. The comment about her ex wasn't meant to hurt me. She was just processing out loud. She never said I wasn't good enough. She just wanted me to reach my potential. Page 3. I owed her an explanation. A real one. Face to face. Not over text, not over phone. She deserved closure. Page 4. If I didn't respond, she would have no choice but to tell everyone what really happened. That I abandoned her without warning and left her homeless. She had screenshots of me saying, "Sounds good," to her furniture questions just days before I disappeared. She would let people draw their own conclusions. Page 5. But she was willing to forgive me. If I came back and apologized. If we could just talk. She still loved me. She knew I still loved her. We could work through this. I read the whole thing twice. Then I folded it up, put it back in the envelope, and threw in the trash. Day 29. The telling everyone what really happened apparently started. I got a few weird looks at a friend's birthday dinner. One of our mutual friends pulled me aside and asked if it was true that I'd ghosted my fiancée on moving day without any warning. I pulled out my phone and showed him the text conversation from that first night. The one where she said my promotion wasn't impressive. Where she compared me to her ex. Where she said I should probably be further along by now. His expression shifted from skeptical to sympathetic in about 3 seconds. Bro, she actually said that. Word for word. I have receipts for everything. That's really messed up. Yeah, it was. He bought me a beer after that. Said he was sorry for assuming I was the bad guy. I told him I understood. The story she was telling made me sound terrible out of context. Day 30. I ran into her at a coffee shop. Complete accident. I didn't even know she went to that one. It's nowhere near where she lives or works. I was picking up my usual order when I heard my name from behind me. She looked rough. Not in a cruel way, just tired and worn down. Like she hadn't been sleeping well or eating properly. She was with another woman I didn't recognize, probably a coworker or someone from her support network. Can we talk? She asked. Please, just 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. There's nothing to talk about. I made one comment. One comment on a bad day when I was stressed and feeling insecure. And you destroyed everything we built together over 3 years. Don't you think that's an overreaction? You made one comment that showed me exactly how you see me. How you probably always see me. That's not a bad day. That's honesty, remember? Your word. You said that yourself. You were being honest with me. I was wrong. Okay. I admit it. I was wrong. I shouldn't have compared you to anyone. I shouldn't have said your promotion wasn't impressive. It is impressive. You worked so hard for it. Is that what you want to hear? Because I'm saying it. I was wrong. 3 years too late. And only because there are consequences now. So that's it. You won't even try to work through this. I tried for 3 years. I tried while paying for most of our life together. I tried while you spent money on yourself and expected me to cover the rest. I tried while you rolled your eyes at my work stories and checked your phone during my conversations. I tried until you finally said out loud what you'd been thinking all along, that I'm not good enough. That's not fair. None of this is fair. Welcome to consequences. She started crying. Right there in the coffee shop, tears streaming down her face. Her friend immediately put an arm around her, shot me this look like I was some kind of monster terrorizing a helpless victim. The barista behind the counter looked deeply uncomfortable. A couple at a nearby table had completely stopped their conversation to watch. I picked up my coffee and walked out. Didn't say another word. Didn't look back. Day 31. Today, her mother sent me one final email. Apparently, she got my work address from somewhere. The email was short. You've destroyed my daughter. She's not eating. She's not sleeping. She's talking about dropping out of her career and moving across the country to start over. This is on you. I hope you're proud of yourself. You took a good woman and broke her for no reason. All she did was share her honest feelings with you, and you punished her for it. That's not strength. That's cruelty. Don't ever contact this family again. I read it. Then I archived it without responding. Here's the thing. I don't feel proud. I don't feel vindicated. I just feel done. 3 years with someone, and this is how it ends. Her spinning a story where she's the victim. Her family convinced I'm a monster. Our mutual friends picking sides based on whoever got to them first. But I also don't regret it. Not for a second. Because here's what I know. I spent a decade building a career I'm proud of. I earned that promotion through work and sacrifice and long nights and missed opportunities. And the person who was supposed to be my partner looked at all of it and said it wasn't impressive. Said I should be further along. Measured me against someone else and found me lacking. That's not a bad day. That's a worldview. And I'm not spending my life with someone whose worldview treats me like an underperforming asset. It's been about 6 weeks since the move-in day disaster. Things have settled into a new normal. The studio is actually growing on me. I bought a real couch last weekend. Nothing fancy, just a comfortable gray sectional from a furniture outlet. Put up some art on the walls. Got a decent coffee maker. It feels like home now. Small but mine. Work has been good. The senior director role is challenging, but I'm handling it. My team seems to respect me. My boss mentioned I'm already being considered for the next level in a couple of years. Imagine that. Further along than anyone expected. I haven't heard from my ex directly in 3 weeks. The mutual friend network has mostly calmed down. A few people chose her side. A few chose mine. Most just awkwardly avoided both of us, which is honestly the smartest move. Her mother's email was the last contact from that family. I sometimes wonder if any of them have reconsidered their version of events. Probably not. Entitled people rarely do. They just find new narratives that keep them as the victim. Some nights, I still think about the good times. 3 years isn't nothing. We had real moments. Trips we took. Inside jokes. Comfort in familiarity. Losing that hurts, even when the loss was necessary. But then I remember that comment. The dismissiveness in her voice. The casual cruelty of comparing me to someone else while I was holding champagne and flowers, trying to celebrate with the person I loved. And I know I made the right call. I'm not living in a luxury apartment with a skyline view. I'm living in a small studio with hexagonal bathroom tiles and a view of the parking lot. But I'm also living without someone who thought I wasn't enough. And that trade-off? Worth every square foot, I gave up. Thanks for reading. Take care of yourselves out there.